So Marina Mabrey has responded to the to everything that's going on.
Marina Mabrey just looked like she was just unhinged out there after looking at this, man.
The clash between the Sun and the Fever quickly spiraled into total chaos. 6 technical fouls, 3 ejections, and 2 flagrant calls, all in a single, wild evening. But amidst the mayhem, one intense moment stole the spotlight and sent the internet into a frenzy. Marina Mabrey delivered a hard, unexpected shove to Caitlin Clark, knocking her to the floor, yet somehow she remained in the game. In contrast, Sophie Cunningham was ejected immediately, sparking an outcry from fans who were quick to call out the obvious double standard.
Are here the night after WNBA Fight Night. Sophie Cunningham putting JC Sheldon in a clinch. Marina Mabrey targeting Caitlin Clark.
If you thought things couldn't get more frustrating, wait until you hear how Mabrey responded. After the incident, do you believe the league should step in and enforce its rules more strictly, possibly suspending Mabrey? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's hear what you think.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey's going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it.
All they had to do was just eject her. All they had to do was eject her, and none of this happens. If the referees had ejected Marina Mabrey, nothing else happens. The Sophie Cunningham situation is...
Once the dust settled, the league quietly upgraded Mabrey's foul to a flagrant 2-0 press release. No major announcement. Just a low-key update buried on the league's website. Now the real questions begin. How did the referees miss it in real time? And why did it take a wave of public outrage for the league to take action? Even more pressing, will Mabrey face a suspension? As many commentators strongly suggested during the broadcast.
So, like, there are 4 players fined in that game. 4 players fined in that game, but the referees, the scariest part about all this is that the referees came out with their report. They came out with a report and said, the contact made by Mabrey did not rise to the level of ejection. Additionally, it did not meet the criteria for a flagrant 2 penalty. And it was given as a technical foul, not even a flagrant penalty.
Stay with us, we're about to dive into how and why the WNBA ended up overruling its own officiating crew, and whether that decision calmed the storm or only added fuel to the fire. But first, let's break down the shove that started it all.
A lot of it is centered around the last 46 seconds where Sophie Cunningham hard fouls JC Sheldon. She gets ejected, JC gets ejected, does Lindsay? I think Lindsay gets ejected. And in watching the broadcast, even the broadcasters at the time mentioned if they would have just ejected Marina Mabrey, this probably wouldn't have.
Let's call it what it was, a full-speed blindside hit. Caitlin Clark never saw it coming. She was simply playing the game, head turned, and then bam, she was slammed to the floor. This wasn't just a routine hard foul, it felt personal. The crowd erupted. The commentators were in disbelief, and everyone expected a flagrant 2, maybe even an immediate ejection. But instead, Mabrey was handed only a basic technical, and the game went on like nothing happened. The broadcasters were stunned, the players visibly frustrated, and fans completely outraged.
So Caitlin Clark gets poked in the eye, Marina Mabrey doesn't even see what happens, and she just decides to clean Caitlin Clark out of it. And the referees just said, nah, it was not worth an injection.
Within minutes, the clip went viral. Social media exploded with one overwhelming question. How is she still in the game? What were the referees even watching? And it wasn't just Caitlin Clark supporters speaking out, neutral fans, former players, and analysts all called out the officiating, saying the game was slipping out of control. The frustration only grew when fans compared other calls. Sophie Cunningham was ejected immediately for a physical play that wasn't nearly as severe as what Mabrey did.
So Caitlin dribbles. Look at how far she is away from the ball, by the way. Look at how far she is away from the ball. Like, that's literally, she's nowhere near the ball. She just jumps at her face. And then she belly bumps Caitlin. Caitlin retaliates by shoving in an unsportsmanlike manner, according to the referees. And then Marina Mabrey comes from nowhere.
The inconsistencies were impossible to ignore. Sophie was ejected on the spot, while Mabrey stayed in the game after what was clearly a more reckless and dangerous foul. The whole situation highlighted a glaring issue in even enforcement of the rules.
At this angle, you can see just how far JC Sheldon is away from the ball. The ball's here. She's hitting Caitlin Clark in the face here. If you guys are looking at my cursor. I'm sorry I can't make this bigger. My cursor. She hits Caitlin Clark here. The ball's here. The ball is 3 feet away from Caitlin Clark's face. And she just targets the face. She targets the face.
Criticism kept pouring in, with fans sarcastically asking, are the refs just spinning a wheel before every whistle? Because if the same standard had been applied consistently, there's no way Mabrey should have been allowed to stay in the game. But the inconsistency didn't stop at the final buzzer. That's when the WNBA's damage control quietly began.
Like, I don't know if there's any other way to describe it. Like, this is clearly, she just lunged at her face. She went nowhere near the ball. She lunges forward. She absolutely, positively, zero doubts about it, lunges at Caitlin Clark's face.
That's right. Later on, the league quietly announced, "We've upgraded it to a flagrant 2, which, let's be honest, was basically their way of saying, our refs missed the call. Had that decision been made in real time, Mabrey would have been ejected, no questions asked." Fans took it as a clear admission that the officiating crew didn't just make a minor mistake, they completely missed the mark.
I don't see how you can say that any other way. She literally lunged at her face. And then Caitlin's there walking away, and she belly bumps her. Like, by the way, Caitlin with the shove. Caitlin does not move JC Sheldon. If you look at this angle, you can see Caitlin Clark does not move JC Sheldon. They're like, Caitlin shoved Sheldon. Caitlin literally, JC Sheldon's still moving forward. So JC Sheldon is the one who initiates the contact, and then chaser, and Marina Mabrey comes from nowhere.
The league later stated that Mabrey's shove qualified as excessive and unnecessary force. Fair enough, but why wasn't that clear in real time? The referees had a perfect view, no blind spots, nothing hidden. Anyone watching, even half focused, could see it crossed the line. And that raises a much bigger concern. Was this just one missed call? Or is the WNBA facing a deeper, ongoing officiating crisis?
So yeah, she ended up stating this. Marina Mabrey's technical from last night's Fever Sun game has been upgraded to a flagrant 2. Oh man, the league told ESPN a flagrant 2 comes from a standard fine. Additionally, Sophie Cunningham was fined separately for her hard foul with 46 seconds to play.
It wasn't just one call. Caitlin Clark got a tech for reacting after being scratched, and Sophie Cunningham was fined for a play far less aggressive than Mabrey's. Every whistle felt inconsistent. Had Mabrey been ejected on the spot, the game could have played out very differently. Instead, the league tried to fix things after the fact. Too late?
People are calling for Sophie Cunningham's ejection from the league. People are commenting under Marina Mabrey stuff.
Everyone's asking how can fans trust the game when the rules seem to change by the minute. The league and refs can't even agree on what counts as a flagrant. After the game, referee Ashley Gloss said Mabrey's shove didn't meet the flagrant 2 thresholds, just a technical. That's why she stayed in, but the league later disagreed. And now the credibility gap is wider than ever.
It is kind of, frustrating to see the hypocrisy, like, everywhere in all the spaces when it comes to the Indiana Fever, because I'm seeing the same people saying, and the same people in the media, the same people in social media, which social media doesn't really count and it shouldn't, but these are filtering to people in the mainstream media saying it was a physical league last season to Sophie should be ejected and her spot should be considered in the league, and calling her out on all these physical plays that were totally excusable until the Indiana Fever do.
There's no way y'all coming after the game and then now you're saying, oh, it should have been a flagrant 2. Oh, we should have. Look, you're catching the smoke and now you want to change. You need to do it during the game. All right, during the game, go ahead and call it the way it is, man. Stop with the nonsense. Contact made by Mabrey did not rise to the level of an ejection. Additionally, it did not meet the criteria for a flagrant foul penalty 2. Out with this statement saying, yeah, it was a flagrant 2. So this just clearly shows me the referees need some schooling, man. Okay? They need some schooling. You had these referees out here clueless, man. And I was wondering what was taking them so long to call the right call. I swear to you, man, we lived 2 lifetimes before they came back and said what they needed to say about the nonsense that happened. The question was, why did Caitlin Clark get a technical foul? She ended up coming back and saying, after the foul by Sheldon, Clark reacted in an unsportsmanlike manner towards Sheldon. Huh? Now the flagrant was Sophie. I'm still questioning that. I'm still questioning because it looked like a take foul, fam. And don't tell me y'all never seen somebody grab LeBron James, like hold him like both of his arms, try to hold him down. He fights through it, still makes the bucket. Don't tell me y'all never seen.
At the end of the day, as long as bad referees are allowed to do whatever the hell they want to do, as long as bad referees can get away with every single thing they want and can get away with stuff like this, Nothing will ever change. But it's good that the refs did something about it, but they should have did something about it way earlier. They could have prevented all of this. They could have prevented every bit of this. But they chose not to. But Marina Mabrey commented on TikTok about the whole situation, and this is what she said. Every time they comment, I make that. Like, if you guys don't know about Sophie Cunningham and Marina Mabrey, who these two people are, like, you need to just know the lore. Like, Marina Mabrey, this is how great, like, Dejanay calls Marina Mabrey her evil twin. Marina Mabrey is a crash out artist. Like, there's literally this page, if you guys haven't seen, called Women Hooping. And 90% of what they do, Marina Mabrey will find any excuse to knock someone on the ground or, like, go at somebody. We saw that when she was with the Sky. We'll see that with the Sun. We've seen that when she was with the Wings. Like, that's Marina Mabrey. That is Marina Mabrey at the end.